and welcome to a special program coming to you from the all-new Parkview Cancer Institute. I'm Curtis Smith, and I'll be your host for this in-depth look at the newest and most comprehensive cancer center in the region. Located on the Parkview Regional Medical Center campus, the new Parkview Cancer Institute is a medical facility unlike any other in the state. Designed and built with the goal of bringing better cancer care to the patients of Northeast Indiana and beyond. This new facility is part of Parkview Health, a growing not-for-profit healthcare organization that includes 9 hospitals and an extensive network of primary care and specialty physicians. Parkview's mission is to improve the health and inspire the well-being of the communities it serves, all of which leads us here today to the groundbreaking new Parkview Cancer Institute. Following years of careful research, development, and construction, this all-new $100 million facility is now ready to open. And it's like nothing you've ever seen before. Under the leadership of Dr. Neil Sharma as Institute President, the building was designed to support a totally new model of care in our region. One that revolutionizes the traditional approach to cancer care by placing the patient at the center of focus, creating processes and even physical structures around them. This novel approach allows physicians from a variety of specialties to collaborate in the best interest of the patient as they all work together in close proximity. And it extends beyond limited discussions between medical oncologists, radiation oncologists, and surgeons. It also includes many cancer subspecialists from dermatology, interventional endoscopy, palliative oncology, and more. It's truly a forward-thinking approach to cancer care right here in Northeast Indiana. The Parkview Cancer Institute is a 5-story, 200,000 square foot state-of-the-art complex offering cancer patients the outpatient services they need, all under one roof. Here you'll find the latest diagnostic imaging tools to help detect cancer earlier at its most treatable stage. Highly advanced radiation and cyberknife suites, comfortable treatment spaces so patients feel more at home, a nutrition clinic, cafe, even a rooftop garden where infusion therapy patients can step outdoors for a breath of fresh air. There's also a beautiful 3-story indoor garden filled with trees, plants, and natural light. It's a quiet, healing space where patients and their families can relax between appointments and enjoy the view. But again, more than a state-of-the-art facility, the Parkview Cancer Institute represents a bold new approach to cancer care, combining the best aspects of the nation's leading cancer centers with a unique, patient-centered culture. Here at Parkview, you'll find a revolutionary model of care that's all about the patient, featuring disease-specific teams of specialists built around each patient and focused exclusively on their type of cancer, nurse navigators to help guide them on their journey, and a warm culture of caring that wraps its arms around the patient and their family. The Parkview Cancer Institute is truly a one-of-a-kind regional cancer center, offering a comprehensive range of services, from prevention and early diagnosis to advanced treatment, clinical trials, survivorship programs, genetic counseling, even financial, psychosocial, and educational support services, all in one location right here in Northeast Indiana, so patients can get the specialized care they need without having to travel long distances. We invite you to stay tuned to learn more about this groundbreaking new cancer center and everything it has to offer. Here's Dr. Neil Sharma, president of the Parkview Cancer Institute, to share his vision for the new facility, the unique patient-centered care model, and how it all works together.
So in 2015, our CEO for our health system, Mike Packnett, had a goal to elevate cancer care throughout our region. He took that goal and that vision to our health system, and our system board supported him in this endeavor. They put a large financial commitment towards the building of a new cancer institute, and our entire health system made a commitment to elevate cancer care and to create a destination site where people throughout our region can come for the state-of-the-art care for cancer. So our vision for cancer care involved the creation of a new clinical model. This clinical model combines all the features that we would expect in terms of cutting-edge innovations, medical therapies, surgical treatments for our patients, but we wanted to go further than that. We knew that providing the latest state-of-the-art treatments was not enough, that we truly had to bring specialists together, working in teams to advance cancer care like it's never been done before. Beyond that, To really stand out from other cancer institutes, we had to elevate the level of the patient experience. Parkview Health is known for providing great experience to all of our patients and their families. It's part of our brand and part of our culture here at Parkview. We wanted to make sure that our Cancer Institute took that brand that was there before throughout Parkview and combined that with state-of-the-art cancer care. To do that meant creating a brand new platform for clinical care delivery for cancer care specifically. What I mean by that is, rather than having specialties broken out into different clinics by specialty, we wanted to orient ourselves around the patient and their family. So the entire Institute's form mirrors its function, which its goal is to create tumor site teams. What a tumor site team is a collection of different providers, which means physicians from different specialty backgrounds, geneticists, nurse navigators, research nurses, and other providers, all working together around a disease. So for example, some of the main sites which we have are breast, lung, melanoma, upper GI, lower GI, GYN, and a few others. So for an example, in the past, if a patient was diagnosed with a pancreas cancer, they may be found to have an abnormal CT scan after going to their primary care physician. The question from there is, who do you see next, and where do you go on this journey? And is that journey integrated around the patient and their family in a way that provides the optimal experience and ideally the best outcome? Same could be considered perhaps for a lung cancer. So when they're presenting to their primary care doctor and they have a spot on their lung or their pancreas, they can be sent to a centralized clinic in our Cancer Institute. That clinic has all of the specialists that they would need. So rather than a patient going to perhaps a pulmonology clinic and a cardiothoracic surgeon clinic, and then over to a radiation oncology clinic, and then a medical oncology clinic, and hoping that all those providers talk to one another, there's one clinic there designed around the disease and patient. This makes it very convenient for patients and their families. It also then requires the specialists and providers to work together collaboratively across specialties, and that's where the magic really happens. We know that those providers are working together and actually talking about innovations in their field collaboratively and then customized and tailored to the patient and the family. When I was asked to take the role of the president for the Parkview Cancer Institute, I didn't want to accept what had been done in the past as a true standard for what we can do in the future. And what I mean by that is, we wanted to create a new model. I wanted to make sure that that model was forward-thinking and truly elevated the sense of hope, but also incorporate a lot of what's special about Parkview. Therefore, our cancer care model that we have at PCI truly envelops all of that sense of hope, all of that sense of we can have a better tomorrow, that we truly believe in better for all of the patients that we hope to better serve in cancer care.
As we've heard from Dr. Sharma, the Parkview Cancer Institute has a unique care model, and it's one that requires a unique facility to support it. After the break, we'll hear from Ray Gonerman, Vice President of Operations, who will discuss the building itself, its innovative design features, and Parkview's concierge-like level of service to patients.
It's a new day at Parkview, another day to rise up and make life better for those around us. Whether that means pushing the boundaries of what's been possible, taking big strides, or sitting with a patient long after a shift has ended. At Parkview, we don't just do what's expected. We do what's best for you and your family. And we're determined to do it even better tomorrow. Every person, every day. That's the kind of healthcare we believe in. Parkview Health. We believe in better.
Our vision, our goal for the Institute is one that we want our patients and their families, from the moment they come into the building, from the moment they first interact with any of our physicians, to truly feel that, wow, they really care about me. They care about me as a person, as an individual. The environment itself is meant to be warm and welcoming, and we utilize a lot of the feedback we got from our patients. We had focus groups that we met with several times, previous patients and current patients, to ask them what would they like to see in the facility. We want this to be theirs. We wanted it to meet their needs. So some of the different features in our building are things such as the indoor garden. Our focus group members said they wanted to see life and growth and green, and that would give them a sense of hope and encouragement. So we created that indoor garden. They wanted it to be easy to navigate. Thus, the design of the building is pretty straightforward for our patients and families when they enter, to be able to find their either physician office or the lab or imaging, wherever they might be headed for that day. We have a cafe. We wanted some nice selections that family members could go to eat there at the cafe. And a nice feature of the building also is that we will have at your request for our patients who are on infusion for chemotherapy. They can call and have whatever food they want delivered to their chair. In the infusion area, we also have a spot that our patients and family members mentioned that they would love to be able to go outside, get a breath of fresh air. So we created what we're calling a rooftop patio. It has very comfortable patio furniture, some large planters with plants in it, and it's covered so they won't be impacted by the sunlight, yet they can get that breath of fresh air and look out into the skyline to see a little bit of Fort Wayne. The idea of our concierge level of care, it really does start at our front door with our individuals that we're calling concierges, who are there to greet our patients, get to know them by name, and answer questions or help them to get to their location within the building. It also is truly a part of the navigation program. Our navigators, in essence, are, you could call them concierges in some ways. They are taking our patient from the very moment they're diagnosed, and then they walk through that entire cancer journey with them, and it just provides that extra added level of support and encouragement for our patients. I love to watch the patients get to know the navigators, and they become friends. A big portion of our focus is the fact that our care teams work together. So if you're coming in for breast cancer, you'll come to your breast care team, and that's where the specialists are working. Your breast surgeon, your breast medical oncologist, there will be your navigator in that pod, a social worker. All those clinicians, the nurses, work in this pod so that they can take care of you with that specific type of cancer. The idea there also is the fact that it makes it very easy for a physician to open the door and say, hey, Dr. Smith, can you step in and see Mrs. Jones? We have a question. They're right there together. They can collaborate. That team truly works together as a team. We knew that best practice, and something very different for Fort Wayne, is to have your specialists for that tumor site working together in that same space.
Providing better care to cancer patients. It's at the heart of everything they do at the Parkview Cancer Institute. Now let's take a closer look at how it's done. We'll hear from 3 of the 9 disease site-specific care teams providing specialized treatment to cancer patients here at Parkview. First, members of the breast care team, who will discuss their role in caring for breast cancer patients.
Our team here at Parkview for the breast cancer team, it's a multidisciplinary team where we're basically gathering together all of the providers who are responsible for care of someone when they're going through their treatment for breast cancer. So it encompasses the medical oncologist, which is what I do. We have a breast surgeon. We have radiation oncology. What's really important is our supportive care service team that also works with us. So the social work team, the nurse navigator team, nutrition, financial counselors. So we're really trying to wrap around the patient and their family all the services that they need as they're going through this journey.
I think it's important to make sure that we are caring for the patient and not just treating them as a breast cancer disease. We need to make sure that we're treating the patient that happens to have breast cancer. So I like the holistic approach that we've adopted here at Parkview Cancer Institute of really caring for the patient and caring about the patient.
I'm one of the oncology nurse navigators on the breast cancer team, and my role is to follow patients along their cancer journey and make sure that their questions are being answered, make sure that they understand their plan of care, make sure that their needs are being met.
So it's not just the treatment of the cancer, it's the other needs that are really, a lot of the times, more important and more stressful for the patient and their families.
I think one of the unique aspects of the multidisciplinary care team at Parkview is the fact that we have a breast center in which the patients come into a single exam room and the providers come into the exam room.
And within that one office, each member of the team will be rotating through to see them and to identify what needs that they have.
So that if a for instance, a need for a medical oncologist arises, then we can actually pull the medical oncologist immediately into the room. And we can also coordinate these visits so that the patient only has one visit rather than multiple separate visits. Other unique aspects of the breast cancer care team are that all of the providers, physicians are subspecialists in that particular cancer treatment. We know that cancer care is becoming much more complicated with genetics, genomics, proteomics, you name it.
And so when you have a dedicated medical oncologist specializing in breast cancer or a dedicated breast surgeon specializing in breast cancer, it enables us to really focus and know what the recent data is and what are the new and up-to-date treatments that we can offer our patients and their families.
Part of our multidisciplinary approach includes assessment of risk, not just why they had the breast cancer at that moment, but also future risk. And so that includes genetic assessment. So we do have genetic counselor, as well as we provide a high-risk and breast cancer prevention program.
So the high-risk clinic is designed for women who are at increased risk for breast cancer, whether that's due to a family history, a personal history of radiation, or other risk factors that may increase their risk for developing breast cancer. And what's unique to Parkview is that we work very closely with our genetics counselor. She is the only certified genetics counselor in the Fort Wayne area, so we're very lucky to have her and be able to work closely with her to develop the testing and our protocols for high-risk screening.
I think caring for patients who have cancer is a little bit different. You become an integral part of their life, and truly these are life-saving interventions that we can provide. It's very rewarding. So not just curing them of their cancer, but making sure that they're living well.
I think all of us have had someone that we know that has had cancer and had that personal experience in some way. And for me, it's a field where there's so much hope and there's so much love in this field, and we're making such great advancements that being a part of the cancer specialty, I can't imagine doing anything else.
It's a new day at the Parkview Heart Institute. A day to make life better for you and the ones you love. Not just providing advanced treatment, but finding new ways to prevent heart disease. Offering not only the latest cardiac innovations, but doing our part to discover the next. At the Parkview Heart Institute, we believe in reaching higher and making each new day better than the last. Because when it comes from the heart, you always believe in better. Parkview, we believe in better.
Welcome back. And now let's hear from specialists from the Gynecologic Oncology Care Team. They'll explain some of their unique approaches to treating patients with gynecologic cancers.
Taking care of cancer patients is so much more than just going to surgery and resecting a cancer or removing tumor. It's so much more than chemotherapy or radiation therapy. With the team approach, we are looking at each individual patient as a very unique person with a problem, and the problem happens to be a cancer. So with the team approach, we try to make this journey as easy as possible on the patients.
Cancer is not easy, and these people's lives are turned upside down. Sometimes just over the course of a day, they get bad news, and we get to be there for them during that. And so with having a team approach, we simplify the process of having to figure out what comes next, how are we going to handle this, and we're there to help guide them through that process.
Our team is very small and very, very highly selected. Myself and Dr. Goodrich are the only board-certified gynecologic oncologists in our immediate region.
We also have a staff that we work with that are specially trained in dealing with gynecologic oncology patients and their unique needs.
I think it's important for the patient to have a specialist in gynecologic oncology because it is such a complex area with very complex diagnoses, and need someone who is very educated and knows exactly what to do and can follow national guidelines and national protocols to make sure we're doing the right thing for the right patient every time.
With Parkview Cancer Institute, it is so incredible, and it was built with such a thoughtfulness and planning that whatever I need for cancer treatment in our community, we have it here. We have access to state-of-art radiology. We have incredible resources in operating room. We follow most up-to-date technologic advancements. You know, all treatment options and access to research protocols are available here.
We do a lot with tumor testing and genetic testing to try to target mutations in the patient's genome that we can actually use to help treat the cancer without exposing them to harmful and toxic drugs. And so the field in 5 years will be dramatically different than it is today. But I think Parkview is actually at the forefront with what we have open for patients right now. You know, I've traveled around the country, and so I've got to experience a lot of different cancer institutes in a lot of different settings, a lot of different hospital systems. And I'll say that Parkview kind of ranks at one of the highest in terms of quality and availability for resources of anything that I've ever been in. So there's little call for patients to actually have to leave Fort Wayne or the surrounding area, to leave Fort Wayne area for their care.
We cling to the new treatment ideas. We plan new research protocols just because we want to do better. And once we get to that better phase, tomorrow we want even better for us and for our patients. Until that day comes where we say, there is no more cancer. And then we all go on a long vacation.
And finally, here are members of the GI care team discussing their important role in the treatment of gastrointestinal cancers.
In Parkview Cancer Institute, a patient is treated by a whole team, which is very important because cancer is a very diverse problem. Patients oftentimes have different symptoms. They need to see different providers, and that treatment has to be done in the right time span and under right circumstances.
Patients with colorectal cancer can have a multitude of problems, from pain to malnutrition to debilitating bowel dysfunction. It's imperative that all of the care team members work together as a cohesive unit to ensure that patients receive not only exceptional clinical care, but also the best possible experience.
By having a team approach, all their physicians are there together, so when they come into the physician's office, not only are they seeing their surgeon, but they're seeing their medical oncologist, they're seeing their nurse navigator, the social worker, the dietitian. We're all there to be able to provide the best care possible and keep it patient-centered.
Each and every patient is meticulously reviewed in our multidisciplinary tumor board every week. The tumor board consists of specialists from colorectal surgery, radiation and medical oncology, gastroenterology, radiology, and pathology, as well as various support team members, such as genetic counselors, dietitians, social workers, and nurse navigators. We collaborate together to formulate a cohesive treatment plan for our patients. This treatment plan, in turn, is communicated very clearly to our patients in what's called a tumor board letter. This is placed in a personalized folder or binder for the patient. Together, our physicians and nurse navigators meet personally with our patients to go over their treatment plan and answer any questions they may have.
We're going to provide education, make sure they understand what they're being told by their doctors. We're going to help facilitate their appointments, so if they live like in Ohio or Michigan, we can coordinate their care. We can have the time and sit down and talk to them and identify any barriers of the care. Do they have psychosocial needs? Do they have financial concerns? Do they need nutritional supplies? So we can actually just be the voice for the patient. You know, we can sit there, get to know the patient, and listen to them, and understand what they want, and then communicate with all the different specialists and be the voice for the patient.
From my standpoint, nobody wants to see an oncologist. And I usually tell patients, I'm really sorry you have to see me, but on the other hand, I'm hoping that you will recognize that it's already happened, this diagnosis occurred, and you're glad to see me because I will do my best to help you to achieve best possible result. Me and all my team, we put all our effort to make sure we live by that promise, that they receive best possible care bar none. And all our effort directed toward that.
Before we finish, let's also hear from Scott James, Chief Operating Officer, and Megan Smith, Vice President of Practice Operations. They'll share their thoughts on what makes the Parkview Cancer Institute so special.
So first and foremost, the way we can accomplish the environment that we're trying to create is through people. And it's, yes, the facility is fantastic and it's beautiful, but really it's the people within the facility that makes a difference. So we've taken an extensive amount of time to make sure that we're bringing in the right individuals and the right people to care for our patients and their families inside the Institute.
I've been pleasantly surprised with the Cancer Institute because we've really drawn in the best of the best physicians, and what we're building and the model of care we have for our patients is appealing to those providers. So we've been able to recruit some extremely strong and very skilled providers that also have that holistic care for the patient, and so they're kind of the best of both worlds.
The facility itself is designed completely around the patient. It truly wraps its arms around it.
I think the thing that makes the Parkview Cancer Institute so unique is really putting that patient at the center, and the amount of resources that not only are dedicated clinically to the patient, but in their overall care of them and their family. And I think that's often forgotten in healthcare, is we're so focused on just fix or heal and sometimes forget about what the patient and the family need outside of just their disease. Our nurse navigation program is a big portion of that. We have dietitians who are focused on making sure our patients are at their maximum health and really making sure their nutritional needs are met. We have social workers who help with family issues, transportation issues, financial counselors. One of the biggest stresses you find with cancer patients is the financial burden on them and their family, and just to be able to alleviate some of that stress makes what we're doing worth it.
The Cancer Institute in itself was designed to treat the complexity of oncology care. So the ability to provide a one-stop shop for our patients where all their care is taken care of in one facility, we've accomplished that with this facility.
Beautiful baby, you're sweeter than strawberry pie, just like the morning your smile brings the sunshine.
The Parkview Family Birthing Centers, with everything you need for baby, plus birth planners, expert physicians, midwives, and more for you.
I'm a Parkview mom. You can be too.
Learn more at parkviewmom.com.
The all-new Parkview Cancer Institute. It's like no other cancer center in the region, offering the latest technologies and approaches to care. Subspecialists who are experts in their field of cancer. Disease-specific teams that truly collaborate. Tumor boards that discuss each patient, and a unique patient-centered culture for the best possible experience, all in one location. That's better cancer care. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about this amazing new facility, visit us online at parkview.com/cancer. With each new day, Parkview is proud to be advancing cancer care and bringing hope and healing to more people than ever before. Thank you again for watching. We hope you've learned more about the many ways Parkview is creating a better tomorrow for cancer patients today.